Dear students, welcome to the last video of today's class. Now in the earlier video, we discussed the first three sources of external candidates or outside candidates. So how can we recruit outside candidates? Now in this video, I'm going to discuss college recruiting, walk-ins and informal recruiting, which also applies to the recruitment of outside or external candidates. Now let's start with college recruiting, which is also called campus recruiting. Now I'm sure by hearing the name only, you have already guessed what do I mean by this term. Now I guess those of you who have seen Three Idiots, everyone remembers this photo, right? So a lot of organizations came to hire engineers, okay? So they went to the university, they took CVs and took interviews on the spot. That is college or campus recruiting. What happens here? In this method, employers send their representatives to college campuses to pre-screen applicants and create an applicant pool from the graduating class. So the organizations come on campus and they do some sort of screening to create a pool of potential candidates. Now these pool of candidates or group of candidates are further contacted to attend the next rounds of interviews, next rounds of presentations and other selection steps. So again, please note, in most cases, it is not like they hire directly on campus. They do some initial screening of the candidates, then select few CVs of the candidates and then invite those few candidates to attend the next rounds of selection process. So next rounds of interviews and presentations. Now let's take a look at this photo. I guess many of you recognize some of these faces. So Bikash came to BRAC University. See the logo here? So they came to BRAC University to do on-campus recruitment. So again, what happens here? Basically, organizations come to the university and they give a presentation on the company in front of the students. And after presenting, they accept CVs from the students and do some sort of screening activity to find out a pool of potential candidates for the job. Now later these candidates are again contacted to attend the further rounds of selection methods such as interviews, presentations and other steps. That is college recruiting. Now let's move on to informal recruiting. Again, as the name says, it is just the opposite of formal recruitment. So in this method, job openings are not publicized. So they are not publicly posted. So no public or formal job advertisement is given here. So what happens here? Jobs are created and become available when employers suddenly come across a very worthy candidate. Again, when the employers meet someone really worthy or really good, only then he or she offers that person to apply for a job in his or her company. Maybe the HR manager or the owner of the company asks the worthy candidate that, will you be interested to join our company? Let me give you an example here. Say, Chris Hemsworth came to Bangladesh to do the movie Extraction, right? So he was doing his regular shooting. Now, maybe one day he was taking a walk in the park or went out to have food in Puran Dhaka. Now remember, he owns a production house. So while he was walking through the streets of Puran Dhaka, suddenly he met someone who was fighting some goons of Puran Dhaka. Maybe that person was doing some sort of stunt or action. So watching this, Chris Hemsworth just kept standing there for a while and watched that person fighting. So let's watch this super cool fighting for 10 seconds as well. Alright? Now after watching this for a while, he was really amazed. Now before seeing Me Too, this person, Chris had no plan of hiring anyone, no job opening in his production house. But the moment he saw this guy performing on the streets, he really liked that guy. And he thought that yes, this person might be a very good action hero for my upcoming movies. So I want to hire him right away. So he walks up to the person, he goes to him and talks to him and then asks him whether he would like to work in a movie with him. So what happened here? There was no formal job opening earlier, so only when Chris met someone really potential when walking through the streets of Puran Dhaka, only then he created a job opening and asked that person to apply. That is informal recruiting. So finally, this person from Bangladesh gets the job and he is really happy. And he finally gets the chance to call his 2441139 to his special someone after getting the job. So again, there is no formal job posting. Only after a worthy candidate is found, then there is a job opening and a position to apply for. Finally, we have walk-ins. So this is the last one. So what happens here? In this method, the job applicant directly walks into the office premise and drops their CV or asks about the job opening. Again, here the applicant directly walks into the office and asks for a job opening. Let me give you an example. Say Chilox is open now. Now they need a server, right, to serve food. On the other hand, somebody needs a job. So he directly walks into the doors of Chilox and asks whether there is any job opening right at this moment and whether he can apply. So if there is an opening, Chilox people takes the interview of that person, a short interview, and if they like him, then he is hired. So here, the candidate directly walks in and applies. Now, this is a very common method in the Western countries, especially for students. So in the UK and the US, when students start studying over there, they do a lot of part-time jobs in many restaurants. Now, outside of those restaurants, there is a small notice saying servers wanted or help wanted. So when they have those openings, the students directly go to the restaurant manager and says that he or she is willing to do the job and wants to apply. This is very, very common. So when the students do need a part-time job, they directly walk to the restaurant manager and applies for the job. And that is the walk-in method. All right. So we have successfully gone through many different recruitment methods for job candidates. So we are done for today. In the next class, we will finish the remaining part of chapter 5 on recruitment. Thank you everyone. See you next week.